morning and welcome to the Splash Live Greater West Bloomfield's only local morning show, giving you exclusive access into people, businesses, and events in our community. We're bringing you this show live daily weekdays at 9:30 a.m. with your host, me, Maddie Muschin. Before we dive into today's show, every week we highlight someone, an educator, student, business, or organization from our Greater West Bloomfield community, going above and beyond. If you would like to submit an entry for someone, you can scan the QR code on the screen, fill out the Google form with the person's name, their contact information, and reasons why you think they should be recognized for our Person of the Week. Now let's go check out what's going on in our Greater West Bloomfield community. Tonight, the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society is hosting their Old Islam in Detroit, Rediscovering the Muslim American Past, tonight at 7 p.m. This event is going to be at Connect in West Bloomfield, located in Orchard Mall. Michigan is home to one of the oldest and most diverse Muslim communities in the U.S., where a dynamic process of political and religious change is still unfolding. This talk explores the rise of Detroit's earliest Muslim communities with author Sally Howell. This event is free and you can contact the Historical Society to register. If you want further information, I talked with Gina Gregory yesterday on the Splash Live about the event, so make sure to check that out on our YouTube page. Our next event is the West Bloomfield Parks Black Expo. West Bloomfield Parks is working with the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force to bring new free events to celebrate Black History Month. Their last event will be the Black Expo that will be held on Saturday, February 26th at 10 a.m. and will go to 2 p.m. at the Orchard Mall. This is a free event that is family friendly. There will be a DJ as well as the West Bloomfield Jazz Band performing at 11 a.m. There will be some demos and displays highlighting careers, resources, and Black-owned businesses. Some of those businesses that will be there are House of Barbecue, Jewels by Joyce, Authentic Existence, and many more. For any of these events, for this event, you can head over to the West Bloomfield Parks website to register. If you have an event you'd like us to feature, you can send us a message on our social media pages at Civic Center TV and Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. Coming up, I'll be talking with Hiller Novak about her advice and expertise for seniors to age in the right place. But before that, the West Bloomfield resident is working to change the lives of teens and families through her work as a special education teacher at Berkeley High School. Megan Brockman has worked to create an inclusive and supportive environment inside and outside the classroom through her new project. We got to talk with Megan about her work and how it impacts others. Splash reporter Calvin Brown has a story.
Making friends, meeting acquaintances, and planning dates can be a towering task for some. And while many choose to learn through practice, some have trouble putting practice into reality. At a young age, Megan Brockman saw just how difficult it was for some students to learn how to keep relationships.
I'm a daughter of a special education teacher who taught in the West Bloomfield School District, and I was around a lot of kids who learned differently. And then when I became a high school student, we had a program at West Bloomfield High School, the LINK program, and basically what it was as one of your classes, you were a peer support to a student with a disability. And specifically, I was paired with somebody who had autism. The first day that I had that class, I left that class and said, wow, I think I know what I want to do when I grow up.
Developing friendly or romantic relationships can be difficult, especially when the vocabulary and flexibility of learning are absent for most, especially the neurodivergent and disabled. Megan spearheaded the My Relationship project to address these issues beyond school.
What we do is we offer classes and coaching and supports for neurodiverse individuals, their families, and their community. We provide information, support, and resources to not only neurodiverse individuals whose brains work a little differently than what you would call normal, but also neurotypical people whose brains work normally, if you will, to help them navigate romantic relationships, relationships at work or at school, and even relationships in their community, like doctors or service providers, and to help them navigate their autonomy and independence.
If you or someone you know is struggling with building and understanding relationships, Megan urges you to make the connection and check out the My Relationships Project website.
www.myrelationshipsproject.com to look at our services and things we can provide. We are here for our community members and anyone who, needs to ask questions, our phone number's on there, they can give us a call. And we appreciate, just whoever is seeing this to share our information if they know someone, maybe with a son or a daughter who kind of fits this category, or they're a parent of somebody on the spectrum or with a developmental disability that needs support. Call us, we're here for you. And you can find our contact information from our website.
Thank you to Megan Brockman and My Relationship Project for sitting down and talking with us over Zoom. Reporting for The Splash Live, I'm Calvin Brown.
Thank you to Megan Brockman for making such a huge impact in our community for teens and family members that deal with neurodiversity. For more information, you can go to My Relationships website at myrelationshipsproject.com. Later on, we'll be looking at what student athletes at West Bloomfield High School had to say about the thing that they love most about going to school at WB. But before that, we'll be joined by associate broker at Max Broock Realtors, Hiller Novak. All that and more after this short break.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head-on, visit michigan.gov/flu. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live. I'm Maddie Muschin. There are so many things that we want to talk about with Hiller Novak. We're going to talk about how you can age in place and age in the right place if you have a senior that you love, that you are looking to either find different housing options or living situations for them. Hiller Novak is an associate broker at Max Broock Realtors, making sure that seniors have a great place to live and that they're comfortable in the place they live. So Linda, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
Linda, could you first begin with giving us a little bit of an update on the housing market and tell us a little bit about how that impacts our senior citizens here in our community?
Okay, sure, I'd be happy to. There's one word to describe the market today, which is crazy. There is less inventory on the market right now than there has ever been. And demand is probably higher than it's ever been. Interest rates have been historically low. Now they're starting to creep up a little bit. And because of that, buyers are just crazy to get into the market. So how does that affect seniors? Well, the way it really affects them is very many of us, yes, I'm an us, are looking to what we call downsize or right size at this point. And we're kind of in the catbird seat because we have the inventory that everybody else wants. So we're kind of in an enviable position right now. And actually, condominiums are a little bit slower than homes. And so if you're thinking about going into a condo or into a senior living environment, you're in the catbird seat here. So yes.
Linda, for seniors in our community, what advice would you give to them when they think of aging in place or moving to another living situation at this time?
Well, we like to say, are you aging in place? Are you aging in the right place? So those are the questions that I always ask people. What are our options right now? Well, you can move in with your kids. Nobody wants to do that. You'd be a full-time babysitter. The other is aging in place, which is also a common thing right now. But what does that mean? It means you may have to make some adaptations to your home. If your laundry is in the basement or your bedroom is upstairs, then those are all things you're going to have to look at, where you might be able to move a laundry to, or if you have a way that you could have a first floor master bedroom. Because the point of it is not to impinge your ability to live comfortably, it's to increase your freedom and your availability to be as independent for as long as possible. The other option is to what we call right size. We don't really want to call it downsizing anymore. We call it right sizing because it means that you're moving into a phase of your life where this big, maybe 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath center entrance colonial home is no longer right for you. And then your other option is to move to a 55 plus community or an independent living community, which there are so many amazing choices out there right now with really vital, independent, happy, wonderful people in it. So that would be the choices.
Linda, for all of those different living options, how does one go about finding the right choice for themselves or loved ones when it comes to all of these different options as they get older?
Well, I always sit down with my clients and I tell them to make the best choice. There are 5 components. There's lifestyle, fitness, security, socialization, and of course, financial. So what does that mean? Well, the first is your lifestyle choice. The question is this: do you own your house or does your house own you at this point? Are you doing things in your home that you want to do, or are you doing things that you have to do? Because so often people are trapped in their homes by their homes. They've got all kinds of stuff in the basement, or they've got, just collections of things, and they really don't know where to start. So that's where we step in with the lifestyle aspect of it. And personally, I work with a lot of people that can help with that. The next choice is fitness, because I'm sure you've all heard the saying, use it or lose it. Access to fitness is a really key factor in aging successfully. So if you're someplace that you're isolated and you can't get out, you can't walk, or maybe you're a swimmer, then that's something you certainly want to take into account when you're making the decision. The next is security. Do you know what would happen if you fell in your bathroom tonight? It's something nobody wants to think about, but it's important. Do you have a support system? Do you have somebody you can call? Because falls in a single family home is the cause of the most accidental injury deaths. And for so many people, unfortunately, that fall is kind of the start down a slippery slope. So you want to make sure that you are cared for and in control of your situation as much as possible. And then finally, not finally, because we still have financial, but the socialization aspect. Socialization has a huge impact on you physically. It affects your immune system. It affects your blood pressure, your brain health, your memory, your amount of activity. It affects depression. It affects nutrition. And of course, relationships. We all eat better when we're sitting with other people and chatting and talking about things, and it's just much healthier. Now, some people don't want to be bothered with other people. They want to be alone. But for many people, socialization is a huge factor in their decision on what to do later in life to make their life as valuable and important as it can be. And then finally is the financial issue, because people will say to me all the time, well, I don't owe anything on my house, but you've got property taxes, you've got insurance, you've got maintenance, you've got upkeep. So you may not owe things, but you're still paying out a lot of money. Now, people will ask the difference between a house and a condo. Well, in a condo, you do have association fees, but on the other hand, in a condo, you may not be paying for maintenance. Some may cover some of your utilities. Your security may be part of it. So these are all factors that you look at. And I could go on all day, but if you were to go to an independent living facility, there's different types of those. Some where you would pay a monthly rent, some where you would buy into them. Some will offer you continued care for the rest of your life. If you started an independent living and maybe had to have surgery and needed to be in a rehabilitation facility for a few weeks, that would be part of your fee that you paid to get in. So there's a lot of ground to cover here.
Linda, if someone was looking to either reassess where they need to age in the right place, how could they go about reaching out to you and getting some advice and help throughout that process?
I would be happy to help. I don't know if you're putting a banner on the bottom of the screen. You're welcome to call me. Can I give you my number?
Go ahead.
248-408-7811 is my cell phone. Or you can email me. The easiest way is at Linda @ Novak, Novak, letter R, letter E, team, TEAM.com. A little bit of background about me. Do I have a second?
Yeah, we have a second.
Oh, okay, great. Well, I've been an associate broker for over 30 years, and I also specialize as a senior real estate specialist. I was the co-founder of a company called Right Moves for Seniors, which operated for many years. I did the real estate, and I had a partner who handled the senior move part of it. Long story short, she retired, but I continued to treasure working with seniors. They are my absolute favorite. And I still have my contacts, people that will help to sort, pack, organize, donate things for you, staging, just coming in and helping you with everything. Because my first meeting with people, I always say the same thing. Do you know how you eat an elephant? And the answer is one bite at a time, because it is an overwhelming process for many people. And it's something that we can get you through from the very start till you are in your new home.
Well, Linda, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We so appreciate having you here.
You are so welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
Once again, I was joined by associate broker at Max Broock Realtors, Linda Hiller Novak, talking about those different options for seniors. There are so many things to love about West Bloomfield High School that students and staff love. We couldn't even fit it into one video, but the student athletes at West Bloomfield told us a few things about what they have loved about going to a high school as great as West Bloomfield. Let's go see what they had to say. There are so many things to love about attending high school at West Bloomfield. So we asked some of their student athletes who signed their national letter of intent what their favorite thing about going to high school at West Bloomfield is.
Most definitely the community. Like, I have such great friends, such personal relationships that I've built with a multitude of people. There's so many people here to support me. So I just love that there's so many friendly people here, and I really feel a sense of community when I come to school.
My favorite thing about going to school here, basically the education is really good. I came from another district, and I can really say that it's very much a difference between West Bloomfield district and the other districts. And it's filled with loving people. Everybody here is caring. Everybody here treats you like family. So, yeah.
I love everything. I love the medical mentorship program that I'm in here. I love the National Honor Society program that I'm in. And the school is just an overall great environment. The people here are nice, the teachers are great, and the school is just wonderful.
It's the community, it's very diverse, so you can have friends, all different types of ethnicities, just family, friends, and then everybody, when you meet them, they just really cool, everybody clicks, no one really hates anybody, it's a really nice environment, and when you go here, it allows you to have fun, just be a happy student.
Just the people I've met, honestly, the relationships I've built. Growing up, I was usually like a kid that's to myself, and to really know that I have a second family, like the Williams and Gayle and all of them, it really does mean a lot that I have people that are there for me. Just the fact that I have a relationship. To me and my mom, that's my best friend. To know that I have another family that cares for me just like my mom does, that means a lot. Because it means something different to hear someone else saying they believe in me.
My favorite thing is definitely being a swamp leader. The student sections at WB are great. Being able to lead them is even better. I love the student body here. It's so spirited and so welcoming, and it's definitely been a great 4 years.
You get to see a lot of new people every day, so yeah. My favorite thing about going to the high school is that it's so diverse and you meet so many people, and you just build a lot of connections, especially senior year. You just grow very close with your senior class, and it's very fun.
So take it from the student athletes. There are so many things to love about going to high school at West Bloomfield. Reporting for the Splash Live, I'm Maddie Muschio. Thank you so much to all those student athletes at West Bloomfield High School for giving us some insight into what they love about going to high school there. For our weekly segment on health and fitness, we are now joined by Gayle Taub. She is a personal trainer, nutrition coach, and owner of Gazelle Health to talk to us about what health actually is. Gayle, thanks so much for joining us again this morning.
Good morning. Always glad to be here. Thanks, Maddie.
Gayle, could we first start off with talking about what is health and maybe those stereotypes when people think of the word healthy?
One of my favorite topics. I don't think a day goes by, and pardon my voice, I'm a little scratchy this morning.
No, you're good.
So one of my favorite topics, because I don't think a day goes by, honestly, that I'm not asked a question about, is this healthy for me? By people that I know and people that I don't know. So it's one of those terms that we, to me, overuse and gets confusing. A lot of times we look at what's right in front of us, what we're doing at that moment, what we're eating. Is this lunch? Is this food? Is this exercise routine? Is this healthy for me? And I would encourage people to look at the term healthy as more of an umbrella, the overarching goal that we're trying to achieve rather than what you're doing in that moment. And the reason for that is simply because health and wellness is much more about the overarching, what you're doing largely with exercise and nutrition, although health and wellness that going to the doctor, sleeping, all of those wonderful things that we do for ourselves, more than just, is the food that I'm eating right now healthy? Important, but not quite the whole picture.
Gayle, when we're talking about food, people might have a stereotype or an inclination that one food is healthy and one food is not. What type of advice do you give for someone that is either looking at the perspective that includes, something that is just more than one meal or a snack?
Yeah, so when you're looking at food, if you want to start with what the food actually is, that's a great place to start. Do you like it? Number one. Number two is it natural? Is it coming from a package or a can or a box? Or is it coming from a tree or the ground or an animal or perhaps a fish from the sea? So, the more natural, the less processed, the more healthy. The world does a pretty good job of consistently saying what foods are healthy, but then you're left with how much of that food. And is that food something that you enjoy? Healthy eating is enjoying your food. So when you're thinking about the food itself, think about the food, think about where it comes from, and then zoom out a little bit in that particular day and think about the other things that you're eating. You could very well be eating a very healthy, balanced lunch, but if the rest of your day is off kilter, if the rest of your day is either filled with junk or nothing at all, or whatever it is that's happening, then you might not be eating as healthy as you think.
Gayle, when someone comes to you and for the clients that you have, and they ask, what is healthy for me? How do I figure out a good routine or a nutrition balanced diet? What kind of advice do you give them when they are trying to figure out what is healthy for them?
Yeah, so that's a tricky one. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm a fan of, if something is working for you, regardless of what the name of it, the program, what you're eating, how you're eating, when you're eating, if it's working for you, if you feel great, if you are maintaining, that's important, over the course of time, not just for a couple of weeks or months, but maintaining that diet, then I say go for it. It really doesn't matter what it's called or what program you're following. But if in fact it's hard to maintain, I would first start with thinking about what it is that you're trying to accomplish for yourself, that you enjoy the food that you're eating, that you're not being forced or eating something just because you've been promised a pound lost, right? So first enjoy it, then look at what you are eating the entire day. And remember that no matter how the body loses or gains weight, the body needs well-balanced nutrition at the end of the day, long term, which means you need protein, you need carbohydrates. They're not the devil, guys. We need them. We need good fats, and we need vegetables. We need those vegetables. Fruits are in the carb category, depending on how you look at it. So well-balanced eating is typically what is something that somebody can maintain, which at the end of the day, I would believe that that's what most people want for themselves, not just to quickly lose weight and then gain it back.
Gayle, as we wrap up here, do you have any advice, maybe one or two things, that if someone feels that they have unhealthy habits, how they could implement small things that can make a big difference?
Yeah. So first, I encourage you to think about what is working well for you. Make a list of those things that you, let's say you're happy with the way that you eat breakfast in the morning. It energizes you. It puts you off in a good start. Maybe you eat your, quality foods all day long. Make a list of the things that are working well. Then I would suggest looking at one thing, just one, and seeing if you can repeat a better habit for yourself. Let's take snacking for an example. Let's say that you find yourself grazing, right, all day long, and you don't like that for yourself. It's not serving you well. Maybe you pick 2 times a day and you set your calendar and you decide in advance based on your calendar or your day activity and the foods that you like, what you'd prefer to eat, and then stick to that for a while. Stick to it for days, for weeks, and see if you can make that a habit. There's no set day to say that if you do something repeatedly that you've now created a new habit for yourself in a certain number of days. It's long term. So see if you can do that, and then slowly but surely add those new habits, one at a time. Be kind to yourself. Know that you're doing some things well and add to that list. And if that confuses you, if that's overwhelming to you, if you're not sure where to start, then I'm somebody that can help. I can listen to what it is that you are trying to accomplish and help you down that path. So give me a call.
Gayle, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Always. Have a great day.
Thank you. Once again, I was joined by Gayle Taub. She's a personal trainer and nutrition coach in West Bloomfield, helping people figure out what their healthy is. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you again to Hiller Novak and Gayle Taub for joining us this morning. A special thanks to our Zoom producer, Jared Clark, for coordinating the Zoom and making sure our guests joined us. As always, a huge thank you to Calvin Brown, our board operator, for making the show possible each and every morning. And thank you for joining me as we explored all of the people and events in our greater West Bloomfield community. As always, you can make sure to tune in live on Civic Center TV every morning at 9:30 to catch up on what's going on. For all of our friends in Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, Kego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Maddie Mushton. Thank you for watching The Splash Live. Bye.